Alright, right off the bat, two things. Number one, welcome. Number two, Attack on Titan's really good. So good, in fact, that it's risen itself all the way up to number 2 on the popularity for United States television shows. As a Japanese cartoon, these Japanese cartoons have sort of been taking the United States population by storm for the past 2 decades. I already made a video like that like a few years back. If you want to check it out, go ahead, click the I. Whichever way it is, I don't know. But Attack on Titan is on a different level. It's turning people who I never thought would become anime fans into anime fans. And for good reason. I mean, hey, Attack on Titan's doing us right. Like, I watched the penultimate episode just a few minutes earlier, and oh my gosh. Wowzers. That's S-tier television right there. I don't think you can get much better than that. But with that being said, there's a lot of new anime fans out there that don't really know much about anime. So if you're one of those new anime fans, this is gonna be a good video to get you a clearer picture of the anime landscape. And don't worry, I know my stuff. I've been doing this NBA thing for a few years now, and I am a 10-year anime veteran. So let me go ahead and teach you real quick for the next few minutes. And by the way, if you're a longtime fan like me, don't worry, you're probably gonna learn something here anyway. So alright, let's go. So how we're gonna start things off, we're gonna have 3 NBA players that everyone knows, and we're just gonna match them to a fundamental anime that you should know if you're going to declare yourself a fan from now on. And then finally, we're going to try and find a match for Attack on Titan, which might be a little different than you would expect. Alright, so that's enough information, so let's get started with number 1. This first one, to be real with you, isn't even a contest. It's honestly just something to, season the plate a little bit, get your palate ready for what we got to come. So I'm gonna just go out and say it. Michael Jeffrey Jordan is the basketball embodiment of Dragon Ball Z, and in more ways than you would think. I mean, sure, the most obvious reason is that they're both massive global influences, if not the top global influences for their particular category. Michael Jordan, obviously, for the NBA, with the 1992 Dream Team and his 6 NBA championships and all that, of course, brought millions and millions to the game and made it to where it is today. And similarly, Dragon Ball Z, back when it was launched in roughly 1986, all the way up to even 2020, continues to draw a huge fan base for anime. It's safe to say, either with basketball or anime, neither would be at the category they're at today without Dragon Ball Z or Michael Jordan. But the comparisons don't stop there. Now, you go ask any self-respecting anime fan on the street, and if you ask them, is Dragon Ball Z the greatest anime of all time? They'll probably say yes. But if you go up to them and ask, oh, what's the greatest anime you've ever watched? They're not gonna say Dragon Ball Z. Because as great as Dragon Ball Z was and still is to enjoy and all of that, it doesn't have the best plot, nor the best animation, nor the best soundtrack. They're all great, mind you, but there are quite a few better ones out there. And for Michael Jordan, I mean, this is gonna be a little controversial, but if he's playing one-on-one versus Kevin Durant or LeBron James, you're a little crazy to say that Michael Jordan would win in that 1v1. They're all in their primes. You can argue killer instinct all you want, I don't care, but you have a 50-pound difference and got like a 4-inch height difference for Kevin Durant, 5-inch, 6-inch height difference. It's not gonna cut it. And less controversially, Michael Jordan was not the best passer in the league, nor was he the best rebounder or best shooter. These are just facts. But still, the combination of his career when he played, what he did, and how he did it, when you combine all those factors together, that's how you get the greatest of all time. He was great because he was revolutionary. We'd never seen anyone like him before, a 6'6" scoring guard that could get a bucket anywhere, had a psychopathic mindset to winning, and was pretty darn good at it at the same time. It was something that was never seen before in a sport like basketball, and for Michael Jordan to do what he did propelled not only himself to immortality, but also the game as well. And on the flip side, at basically the exact same time, Dragon Ball Z was making its waves throughout Japan and eventually in the United States, bringing about revolutionary animation, fighting, plot sequences, things that had never been done before, and they were done so well and so engagingly to the point where it was nothing but revolutionary. It's so revolutionary to that fact that even years later, they were still such power players that they could come back to their respective categories and still dominate. Michael Jordan, at 40 years old, after years off of retirement somewhere else in wherever he was still a top 20 player in the NBA at age 40. Dragon Ball Z, after roughly 30 years after the end of the initial series, came back onto the air and was one of the most, if not the most popular anime in the world at the time it was airing. Dragon Ball Z has brought in billions of dollars, literally billions of dollars to the anime industry, the same way Michael Jordan has brought in billions for the NBA. And while they might be passed up soon, sooner or later, they'll still always be the GOATs in many people's hearts. So yeah, I'm telling you, that's undisputed. That's undisputed. But anyway, on to number 2. Kobe Bryant is one of the most popular players to have ever lived in the NBA. From his work ethic, to his success, to his even failures, to his play style, there are so many things to love about Kobe Bryant, and love Kobe Bryant people did. During his time as a player, he was one of the most popular figures in America, and in other countries as well. An inspiration to a lot of people, a muse, so to speak. But that doesn't mean he didn't come without his flaws. Kobe Bryant was an inefficient shot taker, not the greatest passer, towards the end of his career injury prone, and has a legacy for being quote unquote carried by other players. But at the end of the day, he is Kobe Bryant. But still, Kobe would never be seen as a top 5 or even top 7 player of all time. There's no argument for him to be the greatest ever. There are too many flaws for that. The anime series Naruto is perhaps the most flawed masterpiece in its category. Now me as a manga reader, I didn't really have to experience all that, but my brother, he was an anime watcher. Let's just say that we had different viewing experiences. While Naruto has some of the greatest anime moments ever and some of the best soundtracks, some of the best plots, some of the best whatever you could say, there are some significant flaws that hold it back. Namely, the filler episodes. And if you don't know what a filler episode is, just think of it like an episode about nothing. That does nothing to advance the show in any type of way, develop the characters. It's just boring. They're trying to hold out. It normally happens when anime companies are just basically trying to take a break. And Naruto took a lot of breaks. Add in some suspect animation and the straight up lack of development for some characters, and Naruto takes itself out of contention for one of the greatest of all time. But even with all that, you'll have people saying that Naruto's the greatest ever. Just the same way you see people saying that Kobe Bryant's the greatest ever. Most people might think they're wrong, but they'll believe that they are right. And while the facts aren't on their side, they do sort of have a point. LeBron James is one of the greatest basketball players ever. There is no debate, no contention, no argument. There are things that he's accomplished in his career that are bar to none. And one of those accomplishments is his longevity. Let me read out some of these stats real quick. Okay. As a 17-time All-Star, a 13 times on NBA First Team, arguably 5 MVPs, 4 Finals MVPs, 4 Finals wins, 10 Finals appearances, and a 3-time NBA minutes leader, LeBron James cannot and has not done any wrong for 18 years. The anime and manga One Piece, created by Ichiro Oda, is what many people will call the greatest anime of all time. Not just because of its storyline, or its plot, or its characters, or anything like that, but simply because of how quality it's been for over 2 decades. In fact, recently they passed their over 1,000 chapter mark in the manga, meaning that there's 1,000 pieces of the story that you can buy and read over like 21 years or something stupid like that. While there are a lot of people that refuse to acknowledge its greatness, mostly because it's too long, there are many people that attest to its GOAT status. And they have a point. I'm not gonna lie, it's a cold anime. You should watch it if you haven't. One Piece is one of the most long-running manga out right now, and is also the best-selling of all time, beating even Dragon Ball Z. While there are a few flaws to it here and there, whether that be with the pacing of the show or the animation, these are things that are minuscule compared to the amount of greatness that is produced over such a period of time. Similar to LeBron James, his free throw shooting, his lazy defense, or his flops sometimes, I guess, as well. Maybe his finals record, I guess, if you think that going to the finals 10 times is a bad thing. I don't know how you think that. That's really stupid. He's not Mickey Mouse, he's LeBron James. But those are all things that aren't even noticeable when you put it up next to his greatness. And very similarly so for One Piece. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm gonna keep it a secret. That's probably the best comparison on this list. Alright. Enough jibber jabber. Y'all been waiting long enough. Attack on Titan. The best anime that there is. Peak fiction. Who in the NBA could possibly compare to such beautiful work like this? Who? Is there anyone in the NBA that can stand up to a masterpiece like this? Yeah, actually there is. It's actually sort of so perfect it almost scares me. Luka Doncic. Now, all of these players that we talked about previously have been in the league for some time, and all the animes we've been talking about have been here for a long time. Dragon Ball Z premiered in 1986, One Piece in like 1997, Naruto in like 1999. LeBron James came in the NBA in like 2003, Kobe Bryant 1997, Michael Jordan 1984. These are all things that have had time to mature and cement their place in their respective categories. Attack on Titan is still the new kid on the block. Its first season aired in 2013 and is probably getting ready to end in roughly 2022. That is definitely far later than some of these animes could say. Now, is there any player recently that would be a candidate for the now y'all see where I'm coming from. Y'all see where I'm coming from. But there's more to it than just being a young player in the game that has GOAT potential. We're gonna go by seasons here. So for the first season, Luka Doncic was looking alright. He wasn't looking like an all-time great candidate for roughly the first half of the season. It was to the point where Trae Young, who wasn't even an all-star in 2021 by the way, looked to be as good if not better than Luka. Now as for Attack on Titan, in its first season, don't worry, I'm not gonna be spoiling because I'm not a spoiler. In the first season, it was, you know what I'm saying, it's an amazing addition to the anime game. But it wasn't anything groundbreaking. It was new and exciting, just like how Luka was new and exciting for the league. But it's not something that was completely turn your head. It wasn't something that the masses would be saying, oh yeah, that's gonna catch up with One Piece, or that's gonna catch up with Dragon Ball Z or anything like that. Or, you know, that's gonna catch up with some of the greats. But then you see, come season 2 and 3, Luka Doncic in his second year led the Dallas Mavericks to the best offense in NBA history. Attack on Titan, and this is a little bit of spoilers, had some of the best plot twists ever seen in anime, and then solidified its greatness in season 3. Just like in the same way that Luka Doncic in his third season right now is continuing to prove that he in NBA history simply does not have a ceiling. The potential for the anime Attack on Titan is pretty much limitless. Just the same way how Luka's potential has no bounds. So in that way, in their limitless potential like those, Luka Doncic is the basketball equivalent to Attack on Titan. Or not. I could be dead wrong on all of these. I think I'm right. But if y'all can prove me wrong in the comments below, then tell me. I wanna see what you guys think about my list. Again, I just had to put in 4 little there just so I could test the waters real quick. But if y'all want more later on, like the video, let me know. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do so you can get more content like this and other things that I think you'll find interesting. With all that being said, I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Thanks for watching.